St. Thomas, the garbage is enough to fill about 10 truckloads in less than 2 weeks. Environmentally sound. And the final one, good, honest governance. And you can tell me if you think this country is being governed well. You draw the answers to those questions. I want to introduce you to a lady, the first of her mother and father's children. The first Attorney General of this country as a female. The first female leader of the opposition. And there are many other firsts. And I will say it because I've said it before. In the same way that we have seen our female leaders in the rest of the world, dynamic, powerful, doing things to turn people's lives around. We had some in the Caribbean and they did the best. I want Mia Mottley, our Member of Parliament for St. Michael East, and our leader of the opposition here in Barbados, to be the next woman to become the Prime Minister of Barbados because she has the capacity to do it. And so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, let us rally behind our leader. They are going to be pillorying her. They are going to be saying all kinds of awful things. She has a track record from in education, a track record from being the Attorney General, a track record from being in the economic affairs, a track record as one of the best leaders of the opposition Barbados has ever had. I want you to welcome Mia Mottley to be the next Prime Minister of Barbados, relying on you, the public of Barbados, to usher her in. And so, let us please welcome our leader, Mia Mottley, and after her, the Honorable Dale Marshall, the Member of Parliament for St. Joseph, will conclude our meeting. Please welcome Mia Mottley, leader of the Barbados Labour Party.
God is good. God is good. You know, it's good to be home. It's good to be home. This is the ancestral home of our great party. And Dale Marshall, I thank you. I almost thought that we were in the month of October when I got here this evening. It feels like an annual conference. It doesn't feel like the eve of an election. And when I walked through the crowd, and when I felt the buzz in the room, this party is ready for something. But you know, I watched, and this is the beauty of the technology that we have. I was able to watch from Colin to Charles in particular. And where's Charles Griffith? Because I want to salute this young man. Marsha spoke about courage. Charles is the exemplar of courage. Because he will not be daunted. He will not be daunted. Glenn Clark, an old Trojan, with a pep in his step this evening. Dwight Sutherland, the new warrior. Marsha Cattle, to tell you that St. Michael, we fighting all the way. And this evening, Dale, I thank you for closing this meeting. And I speak before you only because I want you to bring it all home in St. Joseph. Hold on, St. Joseph, we are coming. But this has been an interesting week in Barbadian politics. In this week, for the first time perhaps since independence, 5 days of debate in a parliament was not even making the charts on the pens of the journalists. It was as if nothing was happening. Because what took place in Parliament this week is so irrelevant and in another stratosphere from what is going on in this country in reality. And I speak not just of the economy, because Sinclair and Frondell Stewart brought a plan that bears no relationship to the vital statistics of the patient. But separately as well, it bears no relationship to what you, the people, are feeling and what you, the people, want to see in your country. It bore no relationship to the fact that in the bus stand from Cheapside to Fairchild Street, there were still no buses. And there was nothing in that plan to tell you that there would be buses next week, next month, or the month after. It bore no relationship to what was happening on the South Coast with the sewage system. And indeed, on Thursday night, William Dugan and Ralph Thorne hosted a town hall meeting that allowed us to be able to meet with the people of the South Coast. And regrettably, the Barbados Water Authority failed to turn up and to listen to the concerns of the people who are suffering from their mismanagement and their incompetence. But that is where we have come to in this country. What we discussed in Parliament this week, and you would have seen that I made myself very clear that I felt that the patient was bleeding, that the country's reserves were dropping, and after 5 days, there was no answer to the questions that I laid before Chris Sinclair. Not because the questions could be and would be difficult to answer, but because the answers would be difficult to hear. So we understand it. But I've come home this evening to talk to you, to talk to the family of the Labour Party. And I want you to gird your loins and to get yourself ready. Because all that you start to see happening in this country, and these monitors are a little too high, please. All that you see start to happen in this country is all that we expected. Don't mind the cursing. Somebody called me Thursday afternoon to tell me that Sinclair spent an hour and a half on the opposition. Well, he couldn't spend an hour and a half on the economy, so he had to spend it on the opposition. Somebody called to tell me that he was talking about who could make verbs, subject and verb, agree. Well, he couldn't tell you how to count 2 plus 2, so he would have to talk about subject and verb. This is what Barbados's leadership and management has descended into at the very time when the country faces its most difficult time since independence. So I want you to know that I have come here tonight to share with you a little bit. Tonight, you need to know that everything that is happening, we have anticipated and expected. Last night, someone sent me an email of a little cartoon with our former leader speaking about me. We expect that. I expect, and that was all 2 years ago. But once these things exist in the stratosphere, expect that they will talk about everything now, Dale. Everything. But the one thing that they cannot talk about is what recommends them to you for a third term. Nobody can come to you and ask you to vote for them a third time unless they can show you a record, unless they can show you that they have earned it. And what we have is a government who cannot tell you in either 10 sentences, 10 words, or 10 minutes, or 10 hours what they have done to recommend themselves to you. I warned you at Queen's Park at the annual conference. And I said to you then that there were two other governments in the history of this country who know what it is to come to the people and say they want a third term and got it. And got it. Earl Barrow in 1971 and Owen Arthur in 2003. And in both instances, they didn't get it because people just liked the leader or liked the team. They got it because they earned it. Are you with me? And whenever they come to knock at your houses now, when the long talk done, when the cussing done, when all of the distractions done, you ask them a simple question. On what basis do you recommend yourself for a third term? If an incumbent government is not able to tell you of its record, not a plan. You don't come with a plan after 10 years. You come with a record. You don't come and tell me you have a driver's license, because if you have a driver's license and you can't drive, you could as well don't come. Because anybody can give you a license. And what has happened is that this government can no longer recommend itself on its record. They came with a fax campaign in May. That lasted for 2 sets of fax weekends. I told you then that fax stood for Frondell and Chris talking stupidness. They managed to get from Ronald Jones what he did in education, or what he said he wanted to do rather in education. It is ironic that only Ronald Jones will cooperate with George Pilgrim, but you might tell me why better. There were no more fax campaigns after that. And when they couldn't sustain the facts, the innuendo, the propaganda, and the cussing took front seat. And then the rest of the private sector and the unions were to be used as props with what they dub a plan, but what is really, as others have told you, a to-do, or rather even a wish list. It is significant that in the introduction of that plan, you hear the private sector say, we wait on the implementation plan. It is significant that in the introduction to that plan, you hear the General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union tell you that they too are prepared to wait and meet to discuss anything. So that what follows in the 100 pages is not settled plans, but it is a wish list. So rather than come and tell you, as Glenn Clark told you on this platform tonight, that in 2006 the Barbados Labour Party bought X amount of buses for you, they come tonight not to be able to report progress, but to beg for you to approve a wish list. Now, if I have to endure some cussing, take the measurements. If Dale Marshall got to endure some cussing, take his measurements too. And Peter Phillips and Cynthia Ford. Because the one thing we told you 2 years ago at Queen's College was what? That we are ready and focused. And there is nothing that Frondell Stewart can say or do. There is nothing that Chris Sinkler can say or do. There is nothing that their nephew or their niece can say or do. And I mean solutions, and I mean UPP. There is nothing that any of them can say or do that will take the Barbados Labour Party's eyes off of the mission to rescue this country. We understand that it is incumbent upon the incumbent to lead. And for those who ask for our plans, rest assured they are coming. But we also recognize that you don't spend a week in Parliament with estimates to get the plans of the opposition. You spend a week in Parliament with estimates to ask the people to approve your plans, your programs, your policies. And rather than ask the people to do that, and rather than give the country the vital statistics, they spent the week cussing the Barbados Labour Party. So, I have come tonight to tell this family, don't get tired. Don't get tired. We are on target. And we expect everything that we see. We read how the pitch playing. We know where the ball can drop. We are not coming out of the wicket all the way down to get stamped. We are not edging outside the off stump to get catch in first slip or second slip. And we are waiting. I am not telling you that you will get a late cut like Lawrence Rowe, but you're going to get some shots. And you're going to get some shots because the ball looks like a breadfruit now. This notion that everybody is lining up to come against the Barbados Labour Party, bring them on. Bring them on. If it is 4 other parties, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 4 quarters to make a whole, bring them on. If they want to bring all of the candidates to come against us, bring them on. And I've come here, therefore, to tell you that this notion that you can fight and you must fight in opposition, if that's what titillates UPP and solutions, then so be it. But it is the strangest political plan that any of us have ever seen, because we are not the government of this country. But if people are motivated by a vendetta, bring them on. And there is no place like home to speak a few home truths. No place like home. Because what is it that we are really facing? Hudson Griffith wanted to run and did not get to run. He ran. David Gill wanted to run and did not get to run. He ran. Lynette Eastman wanted to run and did not get to run. She ran. Wendell Calendar, he run there, he run here, he run there, he even run through a proxy, and he run. And Maria Agard, well. Crazy, enough said, enough said. Look, I don't dislike these people because I worked with these people. But what has to happen is fair. Barbados only has 30 constituencies. The people of St. Joseph Dale have chosen you to represent the Barbados Labour Party in this constituency because they believe that you best represent for them their chances to represent them and the people of this country. David Gill needs to know that if he feels he was the best, the people of St. Michael South Central thought Marsha Cattle was better than him. Lynette did not get to run in Christchurch East Central or St. Philip West, but that is because the people of those constituencies thought that John King and Ryan Strawn are better to run for them. Wendell Calendar, well, Christchurch had its team. From Adrian Ford, happy birthday, Adrian Starboy. And in St. John, the people of St. John thought Team Charles was who they wanted. That hometown boy called Charles Griffith. And Crazy, you told me, do good and good shall attend you. So that, let us get real and put things in context now. I have no difficulty, but do not pretend that you are doing something to ease the pressure off the people of this country, when in truth and in fact, you started first because all of you did not get the chance to do that which you wanted to do. And I have kept quiet. You have not heard me say a word until this evening. But I have come home to the family of the Labour Party, because you need to know now that we are going into the final part of the innings. And I need you to understand that whoever and whatsoever is said, nothing shall deter us from keeping focus on the rescue mission for this country. Who is on board with me? Who is on board to make sure that we tell Barbadians that we can carry them where they need to be carried? You know what struck me? We have a prime minister who has gone to New York to talk to Bajans. But you don't talk to Bajans in Barbados. How will you get up there talking to Bajans? Do you understand? And whenever you saw a problem, somebody got shot, Obama was right there up with them, next to them. Hurricanes, Obama on the front line. George Bush, well, he took a little time to come, but he learned his lesson after New Orleans. Even Trump, in a hospital on Friday, mixing and going to visit the families and the kids. How do you have people in St. Joseph not have water for months? How do the people of St. John, as Charles told you, not have water for months? St. John had 2 DLP prime ministers. Good Lord, even if Frondel didn't want to come in St. Joseph American, you feel he could have gone in St. John, not true? And you begin to ask yourself, what is really going on? So I say to them tonight, listen, we have work to do. We have work to do. And we will continue to ready ourselves. I want to salute George Payne and to thank George Payne for his continued leadership in helping me to carry the weight of carrying the people for this campaign. The red light for you, Cynthia, it can be for me. Cease and settle. I want to thank George Payne, and I'm not joking. George Payne has brought an energy to the chairmanship of this party. People see us coming up on this platform and feel it is easy to put all of these things together. It is not. But more importantly, there are 20 new candidates, and all of them require mentorship. All of them require support. And with the best will in the world, Dale will tell you that we were working from 10 o'clock yesterday morning till 11:30 last night. That is true. And the others would tell you, Kerry would tell you, we were there till 1:30 the night before in Parliament from 2 o'clock the afternoon. And if we don't have everybody walking hand in hand and lifting, if we don't have, Peter, many hands making light work, then what you see and our ability to stay on this mission will not be there. But I want to give you the assurance. It is clear to me that this Democratic Labour Party wants to carry us down into the depths of despair. Further, this country has a date with destiny in June with respect to debts that we have to pay. And if we spend all of our time politicking, then we put the country's future at risk. They say they want to hear from us. I say, bring it on. But I want them to know tonight from St. Joseph that we are ready to debate anybody, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. And I say so confident not only that I can take on all comers, but confident that every other one of my 29 members can take them on too. And not to give a historic dissertation alone, not to give a prosecution of the government's lack of record, which we can do and have been doing this week, and did wonderfully well in the members of Parliament for the entire week in the second reading speeches, but also because we have been rubbing shoulders for 3 years now. And we understand what you have told us. And we have taken it. And we have developed and formulated policies and programs. And understand this, that every leader will have their own bent, their own particular interests. And my style will be different from others. But what you will be assured is that the programs and policies and the style of leadership will be one which the Barbados Labour Party is well familiar with, because it puts people first. It is about caring about people. It is also about setting high standards and lifting us all up to reach them. It is about staying focused. It is about not taking yourself too serious that you can't laugh. It is about finding time for the least among us to the highest among us. Because at the end of the day, this is who we are, and this is what we are about. So, I don't know when and what they intend to do, but I know that this party is ready for debates. This party is ready to engage. This party is ready. And we say simply tonight from St. Joseph Dale, as I wrap up, stay focused. Do not be distracted by the propaganda and the innuendo. Our backs are, expect that you're not going to get a blight. They're going to come after us. But when they come after us, you have seen me for the last decade. And every time I have been cursed, what have I done? Raise the bat outside. Let the ball pass outside the off stump. Because there is nothing that anybody can say that will cause me to stay on them rather than staying focused on you. There is nothing that anybody can do me that will cause me to go at them instead of staying focused on you. And the reason for it is that I have not come to public life to wrestle, but I have come to public life to help build a people and to help raise a people. Good night and God bless you.